Hey my beautiful people out there. It's Friday and like I promised you, I am here to review on the book I read this week, A Little Princess. Now, A Little Princess centers around, my cat, centers around a little girl named Sarah Crew who lives in India. Her mother died when she was very, very young, and her father is stay. And her father is a Indian officer, and he is sending Sarah Crew off to. He is sending Sarah Crew off to off to England to go to a girls' school, a one that her mother used to go to, because the weather in India is very, very bad and it's not safe for children. And while she's at the girls' school, she has a sitting room, she has a very nice bedroom, she has a maid, she has a carriage, she has a pony, she has a very pretty doll named Emily, and her father gave it to her right before he left, and it's like her best friend. And she's just very wealthy, and she gets a letter while she's there. Saying from her father that he is trying to mine a diamond mine because one of his friends wanted to mine this diamond mine with him because they're really good friends growing up as a kid. And if they strike diamonds and they have lots of diamonds, that would make her 10 times as rich as she already is. And she's a very humble little girl. There are some girls in her school that doesn't like her, but there's 2 girls that really do like her. And the little one is named Lottie. She's 4 years old, and she follows Sarah around like it's her mother. And then another girl who isn't very smart and is not very good at French, which is a language that Sarah can speak fluently. And I can never pronounce her name. It starts with an E, but Sarah helps her with her French, and is her best friend. But the headmistress does not like Sarah. She thinks she's spoiled, and she thinks that she's a brat. So on Sarah's birthday, she finds out that her father died of a jungle fever, leaving her with no money at all. So the headmistress told Sarah that they're taking away all her stuff, and she's left penniless and will be a scullery maid at the school that she was going to. And so she helps cooking, she cleans, she runs errands, even if the weather is terrible outside. And she has a friend who's also a scullery maid, and together they just suffer through all this terrible stuff. And even though she's going through all these tough times, she still tries acting like a princess, a very sweet girl. She helps her friends, and she's just a great person. And then next door to them, there's a big family with lots of children, and they're very sweet, but they don't know her. But they've seen her around. And she lives up in the attic of the school, so they see her through the attic sometimes. And then an Indian gentleman who was very, very ill went to live with the big family, trying to get himself healthy again, and he's looking for Sarah, because you find out that that man was Sarah's father's friend, and he felt very, very bad and felt like it was his fault that her father died. So he went out to try to get Sarah, to protect her, to keep her safe because he knows that she's an orphan in this world. So after searching all over the country, they finally find out that Sarah's the little girl that lives next door, and she runs into the house after the headmistress thinks that Sarah is stealing. She runs into the next door neighbor's house. He finds her there, and then he takes her away. He makes the headmistress go away, and he takes her away he takes her back to India, and away from England. I'm sorry, I'm studying. And yeah. Oh, and they do have the diamond mines. It was a mistake. They actually do have the diamond mines, and she is more wealthy than she ever has been. So that was the story. I really like it. I read it a while back, and I loved it. I fell in love with the book just like I fell in love with the movie. I watched the movie before, and then I read the book. It's very, very nice. So I recommend this book. It's labeled as a girl's book, but I feel like boys might like it too. It's very sweet, and it's just great. So I think that you guys should read this book. It's very sweet, very caring, and the movie made me almost cry. So that's my review.